good, everybody? With the release of my new EP, Love Yourself, I wanted to kind of just give you guys a little bit more background about who I am and the different aspects of me and my life, I guess. So today I recorded this video a while back, but it's pretty much just a story about how God really impacted my life and how I started a relationship with Him. So enjoy. See ya. Welcome to my testimony. Alright, so quick disclaimer. I'm not perfect by any means. I'm still very much a work in progress, but I just wanted to share how my whole walk in faith started. So, before I really tell you guys the story, I need to give you some background context. So, up until around March 2017, I call this birth up until then, I call this my BC days, my before Christ days. And you know, I think most people I would describe myself like this too, as a pretty happy kid. You know, I'd always be smiling, laughing, all that stuff. But the thing about happiness is that it's dependent on happenings and what's going on like in your life. So anytime like my situation wasn't happy or I wasn't having fun at the moment, I'd be feeling every other emotion. So and the thing about it was like, if I was mad, I was mad, man. Like, I would hold grudges all the time. My brother can attest to this, like, over petty things. And when I was sad, I was super sad. And it was just a lot of spiraling. So, yeah, that was, like, the main thing. But the other thing about my BC days were I was really, like, a lot of my actions were driven by the motivation of wanting to be seen and approved by other people, like, all the time and accepted. So yeah, man, that's just like that's what you should keep in mind throughout the whole story. That's who I was, and that's what life was for me. So back to the beginning. So my family, we've always been like churchgoers at least since before I was born. So I was born in the church. We go to church every Sunday. I didn't really look forward to it because I had to wake up early, man. And my dad would brush the heck out of my hair. I had the baldy back then, so it hurt a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, it hurt a lot. I did not look forward to it. And then when we got there, I usually fell asleep in the service because I wouldn't be paying attention and I was tired. But I always look forward to the food at the end. Every time. But it was cool. I definitely say it was. I'm glad we went to church, because I like even the little Bible stories that we would learn, even though I didn't see the value in them at the time and I wasn't paying that much attention. Like now I kind of see like, oh, so that's why, and I'm connecting the dots now. So I'm glad I had that background information. And also, the church was just a cool place to go, even if I fell asleep all the time. But anyway, so later in my life, I think around like 2014 or so, my family started going to a different church closer to us so we wouldn't have to drive that far, called Metro. Shout out Metro. Metro Community Church. And when I got there, I think I was in like 5th, 6th grade, one of the two. And I was actually really like excited to go because we would do different activities, like go to the mall. We did like laser tag one time, golf, mini golf, all these different things. So church became less of something I would fall asleep at and more of something that like I look forward to, and I made friends there. It was all these different things, right? And then every year we would go on something called a retreat. And a retreat is pretty much, it's a trip. It's like an extended period of time where you do different activities as a church, as a youth group for us. And so in addition to like hearing the messages and the sermons, we sing worship songs too, but we like play games. We used to play basketball, do skits, all these different fun things. So I look forward to it every year. And I think the retreats were more of just like an activity for me, like something like I wanted to do because it was fun. and I think I saw the value in it, but it didn't really like have much value in my life, if that makes sense. So I think like the impact didn't last very long after. So like I get home from retreat and be like, that was cool. That's it. But yeah, so life just continued on like that. You know, go to church on the weekends. Try to take like one thing that I learned and implement in my week. But for the most part, I kind of kept the two separate. And yeah, that was like 2014 up until 2016, 17. So now we're skipping ahead to my freshman year of high school. Uh, that cycle just continued of keeping church and the rest of my life separate. And honestly, freshman year was a good year for me. I know a lot of people didn't enjoy freshman year, but my freshman year was pretty good. I made a lot of new friends, uh, had good grades, all these different things. So I was pretty comfortable, content with myself. I think because my happenings were good, like my situation was good, so I was happy, you know. But yeah, the retreat came every year again around like March this time. It was a later one, I believe. It was still cold though. But anyway, so we went to retreat. I was thinking it's gonna be the same thing, you know, pray, do worship songs, have fun, and then come home, then just go on living life. But this one was different. You know, like even with all the sermons and the worship songs, like something they felt really different this time. Like they resonated with me on a level that I never felt before. Um, and then we still had fun though. Like we were doing different things, but like everything just had a deeper. Everything felt more meaningful because I could. I don't know. I just felt it, man. But excuse me. We'd have this time. I think towards the end of the retreat where everyone would kind of just they just give everyone time and space to really be by themselves and reflect and just be with God, right? So usually I don't even know what I used to. I probably just like chill on the other retreats, but this one I was really thinking. I was just sitting there. I don't remember if I was sitting or standing, but I was in like my little space, and all the things that were being said were just really connecting, and that same level of like resonation. I don't know if that's a word, but like I connected with it so strong. It was like something I never felt before, and all the dots began to connect. And I think this was really the first time. This was definitely the first time where I felt like, oh shoot, like I'm a sinner, yo, and I need God. That was the first time I ever felt like that. Cause like before I'm like, okay, I'm a sinner, right? We need God, but that was the time like I realized like the weight of everything going on. And I think it was an interesting time in my life too because you know freshman year was so good for me, so it really humbled me as a person. Like, oh man, I'm not this guy that I've built myself up to be, right? And so once I realized that, it was like, boom, like crazy. All that feeling I was talking about earlier, it was like times 10. And then, yo, so I looked up after all this, and I saw everyone crying. And then I realized I was crying too. I'm like, yo, this is real. This God thing is real. And that was really the first. I say my first my first encounter with the Holy Spirit. My first time really connecting with God. And yeah, so after retreat, we're on the bus. Everyone fell asleep, and then for the following weeks, it was just like my perspective on life changed drastically. Like I started viewing myself better because I realized my value isn't dependent on everyone else. Because the person who create the being that created me, God created me. He knows my true value. And he says I'm good enough. So when I realized that, I'm like, oh wow, like all these other things don't matter. And because of that, I started paying less attention to things that I used to use to build myself up. So yeah, it was crazy, man. And it's still happening now, like different changes in my life. But I remember one of the first things I noticed was I became a lot more patient towards other people, especially my brother. Like you can ask him. I think they definitely noticed a change. because I wasn't the nicest to him. But yeah, so I just started to things just started to change in my life, and it was more than just a outward thing. Like I spiritually felt, I mentally felt, emotionally felt more secure as a person. Um, and I actually started like praying for real instead of just praying when everyone else prayed, because I wanted to be like, I wanted to know who this God was that impacted me and in my life so much. So yeah, man, a whole lot of other things happened since then, both good and bad, but overall good. And I might do a part two, but I just wanted to let you guys know exactly how uh, my relationship with Christ started. And just another reminder, I'm not perfect, even how much I may try to push that I am in whatever way. And yeah, man, thank you guys for watching if you got this far. And if any of this resonated with you, or you have any questions or anything like that, or just want to hit me up, let me know. You can comment, DM, whatever. But yeah, man, thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you later. God bless.